Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy GZTV. The last video of the morning window is probably the last video of the day. I already did my 2K gameplay on Sean Livingston last night. You guys got 4 videos last night. I guess I don't really need to give you much today. But we have today The Walking Dead. We watched the 13th episode of Season 8 last night. I think there's still 16 episodes every season of the series. I could be wrong. This is a long series. This is probably one of the longest series I've ever watched. I've never really been committed to a series like this before, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, let's, talk about the plot. Obviously, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't watched this episode, please go watch it. Sorry, there's no light on my face. Yeah. Morgan, alone in the woods, starts having visions of Gavin, a dead savior lieutenant who is intent on killing, but could not, who was then unexpectedly killed by Henry. So this is obviously haunting him. He let the kid kill him, yada yada yada. He attacks Gavin before realizing he is having hallucinations. And hallucinations are nothing new for Morgan. I mean, when he used to be alone in the apocalypse, he went insane. Having taken over leadership of the Saviors following Negan's disappearance, Simon leads the Saviors convoy to the hilltop, now intent on wiping out any survivors rather than trying to coerce them into submission as Negan wanted. So he's completely going against the script and, yeah, just trying to get rid of them, which probably isn't a bad idea for Negan's part, but I don't know. They're trying to save people, not kill people, and obviously when Rick told him about what Simon did, he was kind of like, damn it, The convoy traverse is noticed by hilltop scouts and the community begins preparing for the imminent attack. When the Savior convoy reaches the community at night, Maggie contacts Simon over walkie-talkie, warning him that she will personally execute all the Savior prisoners that they still hold captive should he mobilize an attack. And do you really think that the other Saviors give a fuck about this group of Saviors in there? They really don't. They call themselves the Saviors. They try to have good intent or whatever, but they don't care about any of these people. You know what I mean? Simon says the prisoners are no longer members of the Saviors since they were captured, much to the prisoners' dismay. Obviously, they're not happy about that, and they feel offended. As the exchange works, Daryl suddenly arrives, riding up on his motorcycle and starts opening fire at the Saviors with a machine gun, forcing them to start their attack on the hilltop, and the battle begins in earnest. Pretty decent war scenes here, I guess. Prepared for the attack, the hilltop soldiers attack the Saviors from highly defensible positions, taking out several other numbers. It looks like they're going to win this thing. In the midst of the chaos, Simon takes to White to work their way behind the attackers to sneak up on some of the major members of Hilltop. Inside the community, Simon spots Tara and begins to hunt her down. However, Dwight, who has secretly sided against the Savior, shoots Tara in the shoulder with an untainted arrow, saving her from being killed by Simon. Good man, Dwight, good man. But if she finds out that Dwight shot her, oh man. Meanwhile, Rick and his other forces charge in from the outside, chasing out the remaining Saviors. Rick reveals to Maggie that he had attempted to kill Negan just before the attack but failed, and feels some responsibility for how his attack went. He feels like he had unfinished business and he wanted to take that out. He wanted to fulfill himself by helping with this ambush. So yeah, the next day, the Hilltop community bury their dead and tend to their wounded, unaware that the Saviors have coated their weapons in walker viscera for the attack. Oh man, what a crazy dynamic in this show that is. I mean, this is a good way for the show to make walkers actually effective and make them actually important. When the show is called The Walking Dead, I mean, the walkers should be a big part of the entire show, but at least now, we're narrowing down the series a slight bit. We're getting towards the end, and they're making it a big deal, so I think that's great. Among those injured is Tobin, Carol's former boyfriend from Alexandria. So it doesn't matter if you get hit with any of their weapons. You're gonna die. You're gonna turn. You're not gonna die necessarily. You're just gonna turn. It's like getting sick for the rest of your life, and the only way to cure it is to get shot in the head. Daryl accuses Tara of trusting Dwight after Having seen him as part of Simon's forces and escaping with the other saviors, but Taryn says Dwight is still loyal to them. And she has no hard feelings against him. She doesn't know that she got shot by him, so I mean, I guess that's good for Dwight. That night, those infected by Walker blood, including Tobin, may rest in peace. Tobin was a pretty big character in the show, and he died in this episode, so yeah. You know, Tobin, Kevin, and Wesley succumbed to the infection and turned to Walkers, attacking the sleeping residents of the hilltop. It's kind of a crazy sequence, really. In the night, you know, people are getting bit and all that. The Walkers managed to kill the Kingdom's doctors, Dana and Kurt, along with others. Obviously, Sadiq is still alive, so he's going to be able to fully take over the community after, you know, being scolded when he first became their doctor. The remaining residents react quickly to put down the Walkers, with Carol herself stabbing the reanimated Tobin in the head, saving Birdie. So, Carol being strong, you know, she's kind of gone through stuff like this. The group realizes that the Saviors had tainted their weapons with Walker blood. Knowing this, infected with Walker blood, Alexandria resident Bruce begs for the group to put him down before he turns. Yeah, I mean, that'd be the good faith thing to do. The good Samaritan thing to do, I guess. Concurrently, Henry approaches the Savior prisoners with a gun, demanding to know which of them killed his older brother Benjamin. And they probably, I mean, there's only a couple of the guys that were actually on, like, that supply trip when his brother died, so most of those people don't know who did it. But I'm pretty sure Jared did it, right? I can't remember. That happened a while ago. But yeah, when none of them respond, Henry unlocks the pen and enters to threaten them directly. However, one of the prisoners, who had also been hit by Walker-coated weapons, reanimates and starts attacking them. In the confusion, another Savior, Jared, wrestles the gun from Henry and leads the other Saviors, as well as Gregory, to escape from the hilltop during the turmoil. So I'm assuming you mean that Gregory and Jared, you know, those are the two main characters that escaped. When dawn breaks, Maggie oversees more burials of their friends, and it went from the people dying in the war to the people dying from the infections. If you got injured, if you died, you died. If you got injured, you still died. They discover the missing Savior prisoners, though a few, led by Alden, offer to stay and help the hilltop, even though they know they will still be treated as prisoners. It's better than, like, going out in the wild and trying to return to Negan when they're not accepted. Additionally, Carol and Morgan go to search for Henry, who appears to have disappeared, so obviously that's unfortunate. This was a pretty good episode. You know, I got 71%, 7.3 out of 10, 21 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Do Not Send Us Astray focuses on a fan favorite and features some exciting battle action, although with a bit of a mid-episode lull. But I think this episode is pretty good. The cliffhanger is finding where Henry went. He might have honestly went with the Saviors. I don't know what the hell happened. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, took him prisoner. But I think they just let him sit there. I don't know, it's going to be really interesting, and obviously, like, the Walker-tainted weapons is going to create something kind of insane for, like, the foreseeable future of the show. Like, how much is this really going to affect maybe some of the main characters, or any of them going to be taken out? Anyway, I'm not really sure about it, but leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, you know, it's GZTV. Giving you guys the best TV show content. Literally right after we're done making this video, I'm going to watch the season finale to Dexter. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun one. And I'm going to be reviewing it tomorrow morning on the channel. So about 10 o'clock-ish, a little after. So